This is my 2018 Toyota Tacoma, and like many other owners, Toyota told me that they cannot retrofit my truck with Apple CarPlay, which is offered on 2020 and newer models. So, this is where CARabc's plug-and-play CarPlay system comes in handy. The kit consists of a user manual, a module, which is the brains of the operation. This module will be tucked in behind your head unit once it's installed. Then we have some stuff, and finally, some plug-and-play harnesses specifically made for this truck. Included is also a USB adapter to plug your iPhone into and a Wi-Fi extender antenna. They also provide some plastic prying tools, but as you'll find out soon, you'll only need your hands and a 10mm socket. The first step is the scariest if you've never done this before. You rip out the head unit's trim piece. It's actually completely clipped in, so just be careful not to break any of the clips. It's best to start on the right side and then work your way towards the left. Next, we need our 10mm socket and remove 4 bolts on each corner of the unit. Be careful not to drop any of the bolts into the abyss of the dashboard. Now you can carefully pull out the head unit. I started off by unplugging pretty much every cable and harness. However, if it helps, you can grab the CARabc harness and just only replace the ones that the kit comes with. Otherwise, you might find yourself trying to figure out how to put the many harnesses back into their spots. Now, since my Tacoma didn't have any blank spots available for another USB anywhere, I elected to route the CARabc USB cable back and out underneath the glove box. Just follow the light and you will find a perfect opening to sneak it through. You may notice that I unplugged the climate control console. This was actually completely not required for this installation, so don't do what I did. Now I was able to grab the CARabc harness and plug the Toyota male ends into the kit's female harness ends. You can't get it wrong because each one is pretty much unique. I then plugged the main harness into the module as well as the Wi-Fi antenna. And then, like a contortionist, I proceeded to stuff the module back into some free space behind the head unit. And there it is. I adhered my Wi-Fi antenna to the top of the inside of the dashboard, but you can do whatever you want. And now here comes the fun part, trying to stuff everything back into the turkey. In this case, you're dealing with rigid cables, so just, keep them all tucked and safe from getting kinked or damaged. You can see that it took me several attempts to get it just right. Okay, here is the moment of truth. There's our Toyota logo. Continue. Now, if this is the first time you're turning the system on, everything should look normal. I'm using the USB input, so I'm going to go ahead and plug my phone in to the Apple Lightning cable, which is going to the USB dongle hanging in the back. Immediately my phone recognizes this in CarPlay. To switch the CarPlay system, I need to press and hold the talk to button on my steering wheel for about 2 seconds and then let go of it, and then it takes me to CarPlay. It may also take you to the primary home page of the Carabc system, which looks like this. A couple of nuances. So first, when I initially plugged this in, my backup camera didn't work. Right now it's working. You can see the backup camera turns on immediately without delay. However, it didn't work originally, and that was because I needed to go to settings, and then I needed to go to car settings, and then I needed to click on camera type and make sure that the OE camera, original equipment camera, is selected. By default, your aftermarket camera may be selected, and in my 2018 Toyota Tacoma, my backup camera is OEM, so I need that. And immediately when I put the reverse, it works. The second nuance was that when I wanted to listen to music in CarPlay, so I go here, I go to music, let's see, turn this on, it doesn't work, so there's no audio. It's playing, I can see that it's playing, but there's no audio. What I found out was you actually have to go to your phone and go to your Bluetooth settings and completely turn off your Bluetooth or disconnect from your Toyota system. Apparently when your phone is still connected to Toyota, which is still running in the background, it steals the audio through the Bluetooth from the CarPlay system. Now that it's turned off, it should work. Let's see, I'm just going to disconnect and connect this back in and just see if that does anything. No, so this second nuance is a little bit more significant than maybe, unfortunately, the first one. So I'm going to go back to the main Toyota system. I'm going to go to audio. Obviously, I don't have a phone selected because it's turned off. I'm going to plug in my phone again. And there it is. I go to music app, pause, play, next track on my steering wheel. So there, it's working now. And the funny thing is that sometimes when I turn the Bluetooth back on and it automatically reconnects to Toyota, this continues to work. So it's really up to CARabc to completely explain what's going on here and maybe provide an update that will, or a firmware update that will mitigate this issue. But that's how you get around that second nuance. Third and last nuance or issue is you will notice immediately when you use the CARabc system that your CarPlay display is reduced resolution. The DPI is lower than the OEM Toyota system. It's probably not super visible on the camera, but to your eyes you will immediately notice that the resolution of the maps or anything really is lower in the CarPlay system. Now you can go to the settings and you can go to car settings and you can try to look at the resolution settings, but you'll find that the resolution, the vertical and horizontal, are essentially the same. You need the regular one. You don't want these because they will move things around and it'll cut off part of the screen. Just stick to the regular version on the Tacoma. Ultimately, it's a reduced DPI, and it's something that, one, you either have to get used to, or, you know, maybe this is a deal breaker for you. So if CarPlay is something you absolutely want to have, in other words, you want to use apps, you want to be able to use Google Maps, which is something you can't really do with the OEM Toyota system because last I checked, they don't retrofit CarPlay to the previous models that didn't have it. This is kind of a good option. It's at least one of the more affordable ones, relatively speaking. So there you have it. That's how it's done. This is what you get, and hopefully this video is helpful.